what is going on, everybody? We are going to review another profile that was submitted to me, this time by Charles W. So Charles just sent over his profile to me. And oh, by the way, before we get into this, if you guys want me to check out your profile, just go to freelanceking.com/review and I'd be happy to check that out for you. So Charles W., he does Excel financial analysis, modeling, forecasting, analytics, and reviewing. It goes for $46 an hour, which I think if you're doing that stuff for these types of business, it sounds low. So I would maybe consider picking that up some, depending on what else, I see in this. But just right off the bat, that seems a little low since, Upwork's going to get their cut. Taxes are going to get their cut. Healthcare is going to get their cut. All of these things are going to take out of that per hour charge. And so that to me sounds a little small. So when you're thinking about any change in your business, including starting a new business or evaluating. So yeah, if you're like most business as far as supporting systems. Yeah. So, it's hard to be a marketer and an Excel spreadsheet person all in one generally. So I think, what's really important right out the gate is, this portfolio and showing some examples of businesses that you've worked for. So just up here real quick, we'll get into this 4K earnings. So no slouch here, definitely working. That's great. Total hours 66. It's great that he's got an MBA. It's great to see that kind of talent on Upwork too. Even really highly educated people, more educated than I am, can be on this platform. So, and it's great. So it's, and just getting into these reviews, just a bunch of 5 stars here. Everything looks great. Again, with work like this, they're not like us that are marketers that, want these like long reviews and try and kind of not coach our clients, but it's as marketers, I feel like we're probably more inclined to ask, right? Like that they submit a nice profile because it's going to help us out in these types of things. Now, so there's not, a lot that I dislike in any way, shape, or form. I mean, there's so many reviews here. Stuff happens with that 2.5 star, but no bad reviews. So that's good. Everything looks great. And are you top rated? No, so you're not top rated. So once you do get top rated, you can get that one bad review off, but it's not the end of the world. It almost makes you look more human. I don't think any freelancer walks on water or has a perfect record, It's good that you listed out these skills. The only thing I would say, you mentioned Excel a lot, but are there other, reporting platforms, analytic platforms that you may be familiar with? Because it may not hurt to include those on there, just in terms of search. So there could be some parallel stuff. I know you mentioned QuickBooks too. I'm not sure if you put that on here, but since you do work with it, I see that, you're working with different P&Ls and cash flow. So there's got to be other platforms too that a lot of times you're incorporating with your Excel models and sheets and things like that, because usually that doesn't operate in a vacuum. And I'm just reading these to get like a better understanding. Like, this one's with Excel, but are there other 10 times? So you do copywriting too, it looks like. The proofreading here, proofreading, more calculations, a newsletter. So, you do a fair share of writing, and maybe that's not something you want to do these days, and you're kind of getting more into this financial world, and you're a CPA. Well, so that's great. So you're really coming to the table with some credentials, which is really nice. As far as the portfolio goes, let's see some examples of that. So this is nice. I mean, the only problem is that like you could just probably go on Google and find the same stuff. What I would think about doing is doing like maybe like a white paper on a specific event, going through it, walking through some of the numbers, how you come up with these concepts, why you're special. I do that a lot on my profile if you want to check that out, but we go into projects that we've had in the past, which can be really nice because we're always talking about the application and how you've helped similar people in industries, because when those other people come to the table and that's in a similar vein of that industry, they'll have a lot more assurance knowing that you've done something similar in the past. It really helps with the credibility. So some proofreading stuff here in QuickBooks. So this is fine to have, but again, are there examples? Can you talk about it? And just talking about it and getting on camera with it is going to provide a lot of it, not just authority, but just proof that you're a person that knows what they're talking about. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know who knows something about a subject versus who doesn't know anything about it, and just like kind of making stuff up as they go along. So if you can work through some interesting advice you've done with QuickBooks or integrations that have been complicated, examples of that, how that ties into Excel, having those numbers go back and forth, that type of data management is probably pretty important for different people, for different clients. Seeing that in nature versus just seeing, it on paper that you do these types of things is a lot different. So I would have a bunch of examples of that walking through in your portfolio. And in those portfolio items, again, you can have a video. And I really suggest you do that. I think that would be really good for you. But it's a great start. Try to get that top rated soon. You're well on your way. So I hope that's helpful. And I would also put a video here just because that authority and showing you coming out, you look really nice in your picture. Like you're the type of guy that I would like really trust, like knowing this stuff, financial models, and having a video and walking through that and introducing yourself would do a lot for me in terms of like if I was looking for someone in this industry, someone like yourself to help me with these things. I would want you coming on, in a suit, tie, in the video, really presenting yourself well, who you've helped, how you can help, that type of thing. And then if you can maximize more of this and you have a big chunk here that you can work with, I would not limit it down to just this small paragraph. I assume you have a lot more experience that you're holding back on, and I would put it in here and in a format that is conducive for showing the client how you can help them. So I hope that's all helpful. Charles, thank you so much for sending that in. Guys, if you want me to check out your profile, remember it's freelancing.com/profile. And thank you so much. We will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.